Yep.
Kentucky, Tennessee.
Sir.
He knows all about it. This is your first taste of Clemson-South Carolina. You looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I know, unfortunately, we didn't get to play them last year, which I was looking forward to as in high school, going through watching all the rivalry and everything, watching the beef continue. But I'm excited for the first opportunity. I think they're a good team. I think a lot of people have counted us out. A lot of people have counted them out. So I think it's a good game for like both teams to prove ourselves. So I'm pretty excited.
Do you feel like Saturday was your best effort?
Honestly, I think I had some good blocks that led to a lot of people think that was my best effort. I know every game I show up with the same mentality, the same attitude. I know some games don't go as planned. Like Syracuse showed up, had a rough game against Syracuse, got benched in Syracuse twice. I know there's a lot of talk about what was happening. If he's hurt or something. I just got benched. I wasn't playing right, but I still showed up with the same attitude. I put forth the same effort in every week. I think I had some good blocks, but I think I show up every week with the same effort. So.
How much fun is it when you get to pull out and you got a safety or a cornerback out in front of you?
A dream. It's a dream. That's what we drew up that play in meetings last Monday, where obviously you see I just take a drop step and pull and go for the corner, go for whoever's out there. I mean, that's literally like backyard football, like a little kid. That's like you couldn't ask for anything better as an offensive lineman. And getting out in space, where I lack maybe like weight or something that most other offensive linemen have, that's where I make up for it, is speed and like getting out in space. So, I mean, that's a dream for me. I was having a blast on Saturday. I think we ran that 3 or 4 times, and they kept calling. And I was like, "There's no way we get to do this again." So, I mean, it was a great day. That was definitely memorable for me. Yeah, I definitely think so. I think we've gained a lot of confidence. I think starting early in the season, we had a rough game against Georgia, obviously, and then building after that. It's hard to build confidence, especially when you have a bunch of young guys. I don't consider myself young anymore. I've played enough snaps where, we're past that. I think all of us have played enough snaps where we're past that now. But coming out, I was a true sophomore. We got Marcus Tate, who's a true freshman. We have a lot of first-year starters this year. So we had a lot of guys trying to like gain confidence. And that's hard as offensive linemen. It's a very technical position, very physical position. So if you're not ready for that mentality, it's going to be a rude awakening, and it was, and that's something that we've developed over time, and I think that we're still progressing, still have a ton of progression to do. But there was no sacks on Saturday. Very proud of that. We've had, I think, 4 or 5 games where we've had 1 or 2. Obviously, the first game we had a couple, but we're getting a lot better, and I'm very close with my unit, and we take a lot of pride in that. We rushed for over 300 yards on Saturday. I think we had over 500 yards on offense, and so to see that and see the joy and help out our guys, help our defense, get them off the field, help the running backs, they get more carries and everything. It's really good. So our unit's developing. We're doing a lot better.
A lot better than the week before against How do you explain that happened like that so quickly?
It's hard to explain, and that's something that we still question too, because even in practice, there's not a different tempo. It's not, Wake Forest was a ranked team this week, and it's not like, oh, we're playing UConn, let's take the week off, or oh, we're playing Wake Forest, got to get ramped up for that. It's the same mentality every week. We show up, and sometimes it transfers to the field, sometimes it doesn't. There's no explanation for that. That's just football. But I'm glad that it showed up, because I know that we had that potential. We have all the pieces we need. It's just the communication phase. Sometimes we're on different pages. Sometimes it's not carrying over to the field. But it finally did, and that's who we really are. Even as a whole offense, not just the unit, the whole offense. I think Saturday, that's our identity, and that's what's to come. That's our potential, and that's our future. And we're still going to keep getting better. And I'm excited for this team. Yep.
What was going wrong that led to that? What did you learn?
So going into that game, I had come off. We had the bye week before that, so had a little bit of time off, and then before that I had a concussion against Boston College. So I was out for that little week of the bye week. We only had 3 days of practice that week. But going back into that, I think I came back that week. On Monday I was in yellow, so I was not practicing, not going through, and then Tuesday, Wednesday was fine, working back into it. And I personally think it came down to lack of preparation. I don't think I prepared, and I kind of counted them out myself personally. Going up there, Syracuse has always been a team that we've struggled with. It's kind of like the kryptonite for Clemson. But, still not, it's a ACC opponent, so nobody to count out. But I don't think I prepared good enough. I don't think I watched enough film. So we kind of got up there, wasn't ready for the environment, very loud, extremely loud. I couldn't hear myself think there. So we got into a few situations. My pass protection was the biggest issue of the night, as it's been all season, something that I'm working on. But we got into a situation, I think 3rd and long, got beat, gave up pressure, almost a sack. Should have been a sack. I don't know how he missed. A few plays later, same thing. A few plays later, same thing. So it's like back to back to back, failures, which normally doesn't happen. Normally you get beat, and you're like, all right, you get beat, keep moving forward. Kept getting beat, got benched. Put Mitchell Mays in, which Mitchell Mays is very deserving. He did good when he went in. So he went in. I got put back in, I think, a few series after that. Messed up again. We were running a counter. didn't make the block down, got the puller blown up, 3rd and long, so now we're off the field. And stuff like that puts you in a close situation. When it's a game like that came down to a field goal at the end of the game, it's like you can't have stuff like that. So definitely learned how to keep pushing forward, and that's the hardest part playing offense line. You know, you miss a block like that, it might not be noticeable, especially in the run game. Pass game, it is if you give up a sack. But in the run game, you might mess up a block that people don't see, but it affects everything. So, you know, getting benched, having to put that behind you and just focus on the next play, that's the biggest thing that I learned. You gotta let go of the bad plays and keep going.
Coach Elliott said that, like at Pitt, you know, it was kind of a bad performance for you guys. That was the turning point of your life. You just have to, you know, get a better foot in the ground.
Yep. So, like I said, it's weird because all season we've been trying. We have. I'm not biased. I'm not saying this just because it's my unit, but we have one of the hardest working units. You know, in the summertime, we're up here doing stuff every day. We're here all summer. You know, we're not running home on the weekends like back to wherever we're from. We're staying here doing extra work, footwork, hours on hours, watching film together. So it's one of those things where I think it was. I don't think it was a lack of effort or like turning point. I think we had that mentality all season where we want to go out and dominate. It was just we had to get better, and it's something that you had to work at every week, and you learn with experience. Because we went out there, I hadn't been in a situation. You know, normally when I got in last season, we were up by 4 or 5 touchdowns, and I was in the 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, and playing like that. Whereas it's a lot different. We're coming out on the first drive where, you know, you're lining up against these other grown men, and it's the first play of the game where you got to go to war for the whole entire game. But I think after the Pitt game, it was a little bit frustrating because. We definitely prepared like we needed to, but didn't get the results that we wanted. And I think at that point, the only difference is we might have been a little bit more pissed off. It's very frustrating when you spend all this time doing all this stuff and it's not carrying it over. So I think just playing with that anger and intensity and realizing, like, you know, people, like I said, people counted us out. And people counted out the unit already before the year even started. So it's like we have nothing to lose. So you might as well go play with your hair on fire. I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? I mean, we saw that early on in the program. Not early on in the program, early on in our year and our season. So, I mean, we got nothing to lose. So really just coming out and playing angry now. That's all we got to do.
Does it help having a former offensive lineman kind of at your beck and call? Does he let you come to him? Does he come to you or your dad?
Oh, yeah, all the time. And he'll go back and watch the games. He tries not to say too much throughout the week. He doesn't want to get my head spun up. I mean, he trusts me. He knows the process that I do. He knows how serious I take this. So, I mean, I always go to him. I went to him all year. You know, it's a very hard year. And like I said, with the adversity that we face and everybody counting us out and everything, you know, I had a lot of questions. Question myself after a few performances, especially after Syracuse. You know, I had to sit down and talk to him. Like, did you experience this? And of course, he did. Every offensive lineman does. Every player does at every position, not just offensive line. So I had to go to him. Okay, well, how do I handle this? How do I come back from this? You know, I don't know how to face this. I've never been through this before. So it's been very nice having him, especially with him playing offensive line. He knows what it's like to have a bad game, and that wasn't my first bad game. That's not my last bad game. There's going to be more. Unfortunately, that's just part of the process, and that's how it is. But it's been really nice having him. He is my rock. He is my hero, and I mean, it really is my best friend. He's helped me through a ton of stuff this season, understanding what's going on and how to move forward from that.
What is maybe the one piece of advice he's given you that's really stuck with you?
Definitely know who you are. He'll text me that. He texts me every game day before that. You know, whether it's home, I see him. They come to every home game, so I'll see him throughout the week and stuff before that. But he'll still text me on game days. You know, remember who you are, be confident in who you are, know your personality, because I think that's the biggest thing. Is if you have confidence and you know who you are and trust your preparation, then you'll be fine. So him giving me advice on that and reminding me about that has helped me a lot. Yeah, it's definitely a joy, especially on counter. You know, when we're working like a double team, right, to go crack down on the 3 and then work up to the next level. And I can actually get to the backer. Yeah, it's extremely fun because once you get to the second level, don't get me wrong, there are some linebackers out there that are extremely hard to block, grown men and some big dudes too. Some dudes that look like they should be playing D-line, playing linebacker. But if you can get up at the second level and start moving around, moving your feet and getting blocks like that, it's really fun. Especially when you get up to the second level, and you can tell it's influenced the running back where you open up a hole where he can gain yards and even break it open. I think I can't remember if it was this last game or a few weeks before that. Everything gets kind of jumbled up. You know, there's a lot of plays. But I think Kobe broke free after I got to the second level, and it's just the most rewarding feeling ever watching them like take off after you make a block. So it's definitely a special feeling.
Anything for Walker from Zoom? Anybody else here?
Final question. What are you looking forward to most Saturday night? Have you ever been down there for a game? Have you ever seen
Never been there. I've been there for a camp. Actually went there to a camp in high school. I'm just looking forward to the atmosphere, and I'm looking forward to playing, honestly, just being a part of the rivalry, because I know this is a historic game. So I'm very excited for that.
All right. Thanks, Walker.
Good.